Hello everyone, welcome to the episode on the Unenlightened. So, in the last episode I told you that we have a little trick to use to fight to kill the Mimir Z600 and the tank and the two hunters a little bit differently, and I want to show you that today. Now, this way is not going to guarantee that we're going to do this without any damage. It's possible, but it's definitely not a guarantee. So, what we're going to do, what is the big trick, right? We're going to use the enemies to fight each other, because sometimes in the game there are a certain group of enemies that are actually enemies to each other as well, and that's the case with this Mimir and the tank and the two hunters, and they are going to fight each other. So if you can get close enough to each other, they will actually start a fight. So this is amazing. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use Pharaoh. Let me just check that I have good weapons on everybody. Okay, I didn't get a good weapon on Magnus. Let me give him the Elysium. And the Pharaoh has the boomstick and Borman has the Rambino, which is good. And we're gonna use Pharaoh first. And you need to have the circuit breaker ability on her. On Magnus, I like to have the puppeteer, and on Bormin, you can either have the stone skin or the hog rash. I'm gonna use the stone skin, I think, but hog rash is good as well. Okay, so what you're gonna do is first up, you need to get the Mimir towards the other enemies. So you're gonna use your circuit breaker ability. Now, what's important here is that you might be thinking, I have the crossbow and I have the boomstick, right? So I want to use the boomstick. Actually, you don't. You want to do as little damage to the Mimir as you can, because the Mimir, even though he looks like really, we got a critical hit, which is not great. Even though he looks like he's like just like a huge and big enemy, he actually doesn't do that much damage. It's actually fairly easy to kill him. So you want to make sure that you make it as hard for the tank and the two hunters as possible. So you want to do as little damage to him as possible. Again, with the boys, you're always going to ignore. You don't want to engage these guys in a fight just yet. And you're going to move Pharaoh here. Now, this position of Pharaoh, the previous one wasn't important, but this one is super important. You got to make sure that she's behind this stack of piles, not this one, not that one, not over there. The reason for that is because the Mimir, once he stops being disabled, he's going to move towards her and he's going to try to attack her. And that's why the position where she is determines the path he'll take. And if you keep her where she is right now, the path he'll take is going to get him close enough to the tank and the hunter, so he will actually attack them. If you move her elsewhere, he will not do that. So you want to be careful about this sort of thing. Okay? The boys are going to keep ignoring the fight. Now you can move Pharaoh a bit closer. We're going to move her to here. The reason why the boys are not engaging in the fight is because at the moment, the hunter and the tank don't actually know about us. And we want to keep it that way. We don't want them to attack us. We don't want them to be aware of the fact that there is another enemy they could be fighting instead of the Mimir. We want to make sure that they're going to keep fighting the Mimir. So again, just dig down with Pharaoh and ignore with the boys. Just don't let them hit you. And see, now the Mimir is like seeing the tank, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna attack the tank. At this point, the tank is like, whoa, there's somebody attacking me. And this hunter, but that's right behind the tank, he noticed that as well. So he's like, oh wow, we have an enemy. With the boys, we're gonna keep ignoring. With Pharaoh, you now actually want to move a bit further, so we're gonna run towards this spot. Okay, she was not caught, so far the hunters and the so on, they don't know about us. That's important. Now they will, so this hunter is alerting the other hunter and telling him, hey, we have an enemy, this Mimir, to fight. Okay, so they're gonna move into position, fight the Mimir. So again, you want to make sure that they do, but remember that the Mimir still knows about us, so that's kind of the risk with this, that the Mimir might decide to fight us. Oh, this is actually bad. The tank is moving towards us, so that means the Mimir is gonna be moving towards us probably as well, because he wants to attack the tank. So, see? Yeah, so you want to make sure that all your people are going to hide a little bit further over there, so that when the Mimir is going to attack the tank, they will not attack us. So at this point, Magnus was caught sneaking, which is not great for us. That means that they're aware of us. So what you could do at this point, for example, is you could use the puppeteer ability. Now, I don't think we're going to do that just yet, because I think during this turn the enemies will still attack the Mimir. That seems like the choice would be for them. Instead, we're going to keep digging down with our people. But I think during the next turn, we're going to pick one of these guys and we're going to try to puppeteer them. So that, yeah, like for example, this hunter, because he's very close to our section, that's not great. Well, actually it's gonna depend on what the Mimir will do, because if he moves towards us, we gotta run. Could be bad. Okay, the tank is moving to the opposite side. That's actually not bad, because that might mean that the Mimir would move towards the tank as well. Where is he going? Oh, okay, so he blew up the place where the tank was, but no one's there now. Okay, at this point, you want to use the puppeteer ability, because, well, actually, we could check if we could kill the hunter. We probably could if we moved everybody in this direction. Let me check with Pharaoh. If I move her here with the boomstick, I don't know if she's gonna have a crit chance, though. But let's try it. Is she's gonna still have her 100% crit chance? No. Let's shoot anyway.
You're the zero. That's from me.
Okay, we'd have to use Borman's twitch shot for this one. Let me go with Borman, and if we still can't shoot the hunter, we might go with the puppeteering. But let's see. We'll go with the twitch shot. See how that goes. Oh, so we kill him, which is perfect. Now we're gonna move with Magnus to over here. Now we have some options. We could try to puppeteer the tank. But the thing is, I might want to keep the tank for the last side, so we're gonna do something a little risky. We're just gonna dig down with our people, and we're really gonna hope that the Mimir is gonna want to attack the tank and not us. This is a risk. This is the problem with this, like, multiple fighting enemies, because you don't know who they will attack. And they at any point they can decide that they want to attack you instead of the tank, and that's a problem. Oh, see the Mimir? Where are you going, man? Where are you going? Ooh, okay, he's following towards the hunter. That's great. Now, at this point, something cool would be, what if we could puppeteer the tank? Because the important thing is when you kill the Mimir will blow up, which is great. And if we could potentially puppeteer the tank, shoot the Mimir, and then have the tank to attack the hunter, that would be good. So let's do that. Let's try if we can do that. Okay, it's absorbed, so we actually can't. Okay, that's fine. So the tank will most likely kill the Mimir, which is good for us. So we want to make sure that your other people are kind of hidden. So let's go into this position, and we'll go with everybody into Overwatch, I think. Overwatch. So that if any of the enemies move, we'll have that option to kind of kill them off. See, the hunter killed the Mimir will blow up. We are hidden, but the tank got hit quite a bit. Okay, this is a bit of a problem, because now the tank is gonna attack us, because the Mimir is not alive, so he might do some damage. And by some, I mean a lot. Great. Okay, so the good thing is he tried to hog rush Borman, and actually both Borman has... I can't show you the inventory now, but he has the Axe Warrior armor, so because he tried to hog rush him, he actually didn't hurt him, which is great for us. Let me see what kind of shot. I have a 100% shot on the tank. Most likely everybody, so I can just shoot him up.
I'll go easy on ya.
So we got lucky with this, because he tried to hog rush him, and I have the armor on Borman, so we're fine in that regard. Okay, and then Borman's gonna finish him up. Now remember, we still have that hunter to worry about. And we don't have the twitch shot on Borman, because we had already used that. Actually, we might have killed 3 enemies since then, so we might be able to use it again. Okay, now you gotta be careful. So next up, what we would like to do is, I actually want to move with Borman somewhere fairly close to the hunter, and use the stone skins to kind of make sure that the hunter will attack Borman. So let me switch my weapon to the Mimir Needle Pistol. Then we'll move him like there, so he's kind of like in the way. And we'll use the stone skin, and that should allow me to absorb the attack from the hunter. And he can also still shoot the hunter. We're not gonna have a very good shot. Actually, let me go into Overwatch instead. And we're gonna do the same with the other guys, because when the hunter is going to like move to attack us, that'd be good. And I think we'll place Magnus here behind the half cover. Since Borman is not covered at all, I'm kind of betting on the fact that the hunter will attack Borman. When he's doing that, that's great. He missed, actually, which is good for us. Oh, he didn't move any closer. Okay, that's not so good. I'm gonna get a 25% shot, which is not great. Let me move maybe here. I'll have a 50% shot from here, but a pretty good cover, I think. So we'll do that. Why is there no line of fire? There was a line of fire before. I guess we'll go into Overwatch then. Now the problem is that at this point we have sort of wasted the stone skin because he didn't attack us when we were hoping he would. So let's move. What do you have on Pharaoh? Out of range. This is not great for us. You know what? Let me move Pharaoh here and go into Overwatch. And we're gonna move Borman here and reload, I guess. Load. Yeah, this is not great for us. Okay, he's doing Overwatch, so that's actually not bad. We're gonna do Overwatch as well. And Magnus? I really don't understand why he doesn't have a shot. He should be able to have a shot. Maybe if we move to here, will he then have a shot? Okay, he missed, which is good for us. Okay. It'd be really good if we had Selma now and we could do like a tree hugger, but we can't. So. Okay, let's try to shoot with our people. Oh, we got a critical hit, which is fantastic. Okay, I don't know what he was doing. He just like moved back and forth, which is kind of weird. Okay, we're gonna move Magnus in the open because we're gonna really hope that we can shoot him with the 75% shot. So let's see. Yeah, okay, great. So we actually managed to do this without getting any damage, but like I said, this is definitely not a guarantee in this kind of fight because you have a lot of enemies and you never know when they decide to attack us. Now, we were fairly lucky in this particular playthrough that the enemies, they tended to attack each other. The only time, like when the tank was moving at us, was actually when we didn't have an enemy to fight. Like, you know, the Mimir was already dead. But what does happen, and happens fairly often, is that even if the Mimir is, for example, still alive, the tank might decide, you know what, maybe like Magnus or Bowman is a little bit closer, or he has been fighting the Mimir a lot, so he might decide to attack you instead, and you can never quite predict when will that happen. So that's why this is not a guarantee to do this without any damage. Another thing is we got quite lucky with a few misses from the hunters. It was partially because of the cover and stuff like that, but it could have been hit, and unfortunately we wasted the Borman's stone skin ability, so during this particular playthrough, it actually would have been better if we probably had hog rushed on Borman, because then we could have hog rushed the hunter and it would have been a much easier fight towards the end. But you never know how exactly the enemies will behave, so that's why you kind of gotta prep for that. But I think it's a really fun version of this fight, because instead of just like, you know, killing the Mimirs by himself and then going towards these three guys like we saw in the previous episode, where you can have like a guarantee of doing this without any damage. This is a kind of like more, you know, keeps you on your feet. You gotta react to what's happening, and that's kind of fun. There is another place where you can use this. We've already been there, so don't worry, it's not spoilers. And that's in the Iron Serpent, where you have the zone dogs and you have the tank and the other enemies. The zone dogs are actually the enemies to the tank as well, so we can use the zone dogs to actually fight the same way. You're gonna lure them out towards the tank and then they will fight each other, and then once there's only a few of them left, you will do the fight yourself. There's another area, I don't quite remember where it was, but there were a couple of police bots, and then we had like a butcher and a hunter that were hiding in the building. I think it was Isa and Fala, but I'm not 100% certain. So there again, you could use either lure the butcher or the police bot towards the other enemy, and then they will kill each other off. So this is a fun trick that I wanted to show you. It's not a guarantee on doing this without getting any damage, but it's a really fun way. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, write down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next area. Bye bye.